I'm Jake Tapper. We are continuing to follow the violence in Baltimore. There is breaking news on the very day that the family of 25-year-old Freddie Gray bid him adieu in his funeral, laid him to rest. The city of Baltimore, despite their pleas for peace, has become something of a battle zone. Just moments ago, police were seen dragging away a clearly injured police officer from the scene of what appear to be riots, with protesters filling the streets. Many, according to police and according to the images we're getting on our television from local Baltimore affiliates WJZ and WBAL, throwing rocks and bricks and bottles at the police, who have been informing that there are rival gangs uniting to target police officers in the wake of Freddie Gray's still unexplained death in police custody. He died 1 week ago yesterday. Let's go to, if we can, CNN's Athena Jones, who's in the streets of Baltimore, has been at times in the middle of the chaos. Athena, you learned that this was apparently a planned demonstration, and some people were even warned not to go to the area because of a possible riot. Tell us more.
Yes, I spoke with a bystander who told me that he was warned on Facebook not to be in this area after 2:30 because they're planning a riot. Tell everyone. This is what this bystander's friend told him via Facebook. The officer at the mall just said it's supposed to start. The officer at the mall just said it's supposed to start Mandamin and go downtown, so don't go anywhere near those areas. Tell everybody now. So don't go anywhere near those areas. Tell everybody now. I can tell you, Jake, I haven't seen any sort of march take place. What we learned was that the University of Maryland and Baltimore decided to close early because they'd received an alert from Baltimore police that there would be a quote-unquote purge at the high school here. We're right outside a high school at 3 o'clock. That seems to be a walkout of sorts, but I've spoken to high school students around here, and they said they didn't walk out. They left school at the end of the school. They said they didn't walk out. They left school at the end of the school day. So we've been here for several minutes now. You can see the confrontation with police. A lot of rocks have been thrown, parts of bricks we've had to duck to avoid being hit in some cases. We've seen more than one police officer injured, at least 3 I think we've seen so far. We saw some people set a trash can on fire. At one point, there looked to be smoke from smoke bombs. We don't believe it was tear gas because it didn't seem like tear gas. It didn't affect our eyes, but we've been released that they may end up using tear gas. I should tell you also, Jake, that there have been helicopters circling this area for at least the last half hour. We saw a police chopper fly lower than I've ever seen one fly, maybe 3 or 4 stories high, and broadcast that a warning telling everyone to disperse. This is an unlawful gathering, and asking that folks leave the area. I can tell you there are a lot fewer students right now than there were maybe half an hour ago, when there were far more than 100, many of whom were tussling with police, but many others who were just standing by, some of them confused, some of them not knowing what the plan was. And I've talked to a lot of people who are angry that this is going on, because some of the people seem to have left of their own accord because they just don't want to be a part of this. And I can tell you right now, at least from our vantage point, I see a lot more police than I do people throwing things, but it's clearly not a situation that is under control at this point.
Gangs, Crips, and Bloods were uniting with the shared mission of taking out police officers between citizens of Baltimore and their police officers.
Where Freddie Gray, a very, very powerful service for 25-year-old Freddie Gray, and now this. The city is going to have a tough time putting this back in the box. This is how they are reacting on this particular day, because they did not in Baltimore. A mall that is predominantly African-American. There was no indication at the beginning of this day that this is going to break out. There were, it appears that these are high school students who decided to have a mass walkout and start basically going at police, and they are, Jake.
Officer, and just to remind our viewers, what we're watching right now is a confrontation with demonstrators throwing projectiles, bottles and rocks and bricks at Baltimore police officers. Comes just an hour or so after the funeral.
Point very soon. So it's not just that you can just start grabbing people and making arrests. You got to have it. It's got to be done in an orderly, planned fashion, and I think we're just about there. So hopefully these young people get the message and disperse.
The Baltimore police issued a statement just a minute ago saying that they are asking motorists in Baltimore to avoid the area of Gwynns Falls, Reisterstown, Liberty Heights, take alternate routes. They say. And Tom, I wanted to get your reaction to something that the mayor of Baltimore, Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake, said over the weekend about giving those who wish to destroy space to do that.
How do fucking black people be so motherfucking ignorant?
About giving those who wish to destroy space to do that. These comments came after some violence and vandalism in which storefronts and vehicles were destroyed by demonstrators. What does that mean, giving those who wish to destroy space to do that? Is that something that law enforcement or public officials ever talk about? Tom, I don't know if you're seeing the images on the TV screen right now, coming in live from Baltimore of a mob growing, attacking a police car.
I think, Jake, that this is just becoming increasingly dangerous, and the mob is taking on a life of its own. It's no longer, I think the adjective of protesters or demonstrators doesn't apply to that kind of behavior.
Now, 3:30, when I got here, it was much more than a gathering. It was, frankly, just an all-out war between police officers and students in the neighborhood. Bricks, rocks, glass, tires, trash cans, anything that could be thrown was thrown. I saw officers badly injured. I've seen journalists assaulted. It's just been absolutely insane. The crowd of students has swelled over time, as has, the number of police officers. And right now I'm standing in the middle of a big kind of perimeter that the police have formed with their bodies around.
Let's begin in Baltimore, in the streets of Baltimore, where it's major tension has erupted. CNN's Miguel Marquez is there for us. Miguel, update our viewers here.
This is CNN Breaking News.
And let's get right to the breaking news in Baltimore. Just a little while ago, police announced at least 7 officers have been hurt in attacks by violent and rock-throwing, brick-throwing protesters. Over the past few hours, we've seen police responding with tear gas and pepper spray. They also faced what they call a credible threat of violence from the city's gangs.
And had been deemed to be credible and run through and shared with other police departments around the country. I want to bring back CNN's Miguel Marquez, who is in the thick of the riot down there in Baltimore. We're watching it all from a helicopter from WJZ. Miguel, what are you seeing? Miguel Marquez, we're having trouble with the communications. Let's go to Athena Jones, CNN's.
It is an absolute war zone. It is an absolute war zone.